It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the 24th of June, 2014. This is our garden from above. We're on the 3rd floor of the house, and you can see a little bit of our garden. You can only see about half of it actually, because we have this big willow fence in front of us here. We've just reseeded that ground there. We had a garden there, a vegetable garden, but we just don't have time to take care of it, and we'll plant something later. We may get a greenhouse as well, but at the moment we're just overwhelmed with work, and we'll have to leave it for later. I'm just giving you an idea here what the garden looks like, and then on beyond our garden, our yard here, the hill in back. You can just see a little bit going up to Arnsheim, up at the top there. Next village. Today isn't really about the garden, however. It's about the house. And I'm going to take you here and show you something that you haven't yet seen. This is the library. It doesn't look much like a library at the moment. We lived in a big house and had a wonderful library. And I'll show a picture of it here. It was a place I spent most of my time. When we lived there, the house was actually a hunting castle, and this house, when we bought it, didn't have a library. It was, as those of you who have followed some of the work that I've been doing know, it was an abbey, a home for an order of nuns, Roman Catholic nuns. And what you're looking at here is a wall that is in condition that all the walls were in when we moved here. They had wallpaper on them, and you didn't really see this, but when you took the wallpaper off, much of the plaster came off, and you ended up with the wall being in this condition. Here you can see, for instance, the clay. The walls are made of, they have wooden beams behind them, and then between the wooden beams they've put clay. It's a wonderful material, wonderful building material. Clay with straw, actually. And however, with time, it tends to fall apart a little bit. You need to rework it. My wife Karin has learned to plaster. She's plastered all the rooms of the house. This is a very large house. It's 4 stories. It had 24 rooms. We've reduced it to 22 by combining a couple of the rooms. The rooms were all, as I said, were all in this condition. There comes Valentine. Hi, kitty cat. Oh, I don't think you want to go into that open window. Nine, Valentine, 9. Come here. Okay, we don't want to lose the cat by having him jump out of the 3rd-story window. He would love to go up there, but there's actually no window ledge, so it would be very difficult for him to balance there. He might be able to do it, but I don't want to find out. Go pick up the pieces down below. He's 14 years old. He's one of the older members of our family. Well, no, that's not right. Maybe in cat years he's one of the older members, but I digress. This house, as I said, has 22 rooms now, and it's all done except for this room. This room has not been done. Now, the only thing we've done to this room is remove the wallpaper, and you can see what, as I said, you can see what happened when we did that. I'm going to turn on a light here, and you can see, for instance, around the windows here, the the clay has actually fallen out to the extent that we've had to put, or somebody, we didn't do it, somebody had to put paper in here, newspaper. Might be interesting to see when this newspaper was from. It's from 1998. So these walls have been in bad condition for a long time. Actually, this was completely covered up. You didn't see the paper. And when we took the wallpaper off, this is what we found. So we are now going to begin work on this room. And since I wasn't able to, or I didn't even have a video camera until we had moved in here and lived here a while and done a lot of the work. Yes, dear. Since this room is in this condition, I'm going to show it to you as we restore it. What needs to be done, of course, is that this loose clay has to be knocked out. You put it back into a big barrel and you add a little water to it and you make it soft again, and then you replaster the walls with it. And then you put a thin layer of a special plaster covering over the wall, over the clay. And then you can paint it or wallpaper it or do whatever you want. We generally just paint over that then. We may use a special kind of surface that has a kind of a sandy structure to it. We'll have to see. We haven't decided exactly what we're going to do in this room. We call it our library because we had a library before, and we have thousands of books. We will line the walls with shelves, and we'll have a big table in here where you can sit and read. However, probably in the winter, we will probably also have a computer in here because we're going to have a wood burning stove, and it will be very pleasant, very nice to sit here and to work. I can do some of my translations here, perhaps. We expect to use this room quite a bit. We may even dine here in the winter. So the walls need to be redone. Also, the ceiling needs to be redone. You see here, there was the floor above, on the fourth floor, water broke into there was a window broken, in fact, and water got in and went through the floor, and the plaster fell off the ceiling. You can see here, we have furniture stored here yet. That all has to come out, but we still have to finish the floors in the other rooms so that we can move this furniture out. That wall over there has been repaired to some extent. That is a cement covering that we've put on there to keep the clay from falling out any further. There are more cabinets over here that will be putting up in another room very soon. We have these big cabinets, by the way, because in Europe, or in Germany at least, it's very uncommon to have walk-in closets like Americans are used to. You have to have armoires or cabinets that you can put your clothes in, and that's what all of this is here. These are two very, very large cabinets, and they will go into into our dressing room, actually. This large cabinet is cherry wood. It's very nice. It just needs to be reassembled, of course. So as you can see, there is major work that needs to be done on the walls. This wall here has been already done. However, it was not done well and is cracking. So we're going to have to redo that wall. That's not a real big problem. There are other small jobs that have to be done. One of them is, for instance, on the door frame here. The doors, by the way, I have all already done. They're completely rebuilt, remanufactured, so to speak. I spent nearly a year working on them. Here you can see the striker plate has been broken out of the door frame here. And I'm going to, I'm going to show you how I do that. I've done this probably 8 or 9 times now, because many of the striker plates were broken out as people at some point probably broke the doors down, and in doing so ripped out the striker plate here. What I'm going to do is cut this wood out of here and replace it. I will glue in a piece of wood. I will use 2-component epoxy glue on this. There's not enough area for wood glue really that I would trust it to hold. I'm going to replace this whole thing, and then I will, with a chisel, cut out the part here for the striker plate. The electric wiring is going to be redone in this room. As you can see here, the switches and sockets are very old, probably from the 1950s or so. And the wiring, you can't probably see too much. Up there, there is a terminal box, and it's, let me get up to there. You can see the condition of the wiring there. It's not real bad, but I'm going to replace it all anyway. One of the things that I don't want to keep is the fact that many of the sockets, the light sockets, there aren't many, but there are some, they don't have any ground wire. And with 230 volt electric current, you really need to have everything grounded. There is no earth or ground. And I'm going to replace those. Here, for instance, you can see this socket is going to have to be removed anyway, because it's, if I can find it, I guess I've got the, there we are, yeah. There you can see that socket. It only has 2 wires going in, and that's very dangerous. This socket's going to come out anyway because it is in a place where the radiator is going to be. The radiator is going to be right in front of it, so it's going to have to be repositioned. I'll move it. Let's see if I can get you out here and come back. I'll come back here a little bit. I just ordered a wide angle lens for this camera so that I can get a little bit further back. I'm going to move the socket from where it is now over to where this table saw is. In the process of showing you the work that we're doing here, I will also introduce you to the tools that I use. I have a lot of tools. I believe in buying very good tools. I very much dislike cheap tools, and not because they're cheap, but because they're usually very poor quality and they break in a short time, don't do the job well. So I have quite good tools. I buy most of my tools used on eBay, and I'm quite satisfied with many of them, and I'd like to show some of them to you because they're oftentimes very useful. Some of the tools people aren't familiar with, and they can be, like I say, for your own jobs, they might be useful. Here, this wall is probably the worst that we've had, one of the worst that we've had, not the worst. I'll show you some pictures at the end of this, perhaps. I'll add on a small slideshow of some pictures of the work that we have done. If you go back and look at one of my early videos on making the dining room or the living room, you'll see how bad the walls could really be. This wall, however, here will need to be, all of that clay will have to be pulled out and replaced. I have some woodwork to do there too, as you can see on the edge of the window there, the window frame. There is a hole. There used to be roll-down shades, and that was the where the roller was. I will cut a piece of wood just to fit in that and glue that in, sand it down. I've had to do that in almost on all the window frames in the house. It's a good opportunity now, since this room is really in its virgin state, to misuse the word, because I can show you then where we're coming from, how we do the work, and the final result, which we hope will be representative and also something that we can be satisfied and perhaps a little proud of. The first job, however, that I have to do is to tear out the rest of the floor here. There's a PVC plastic covering on the floor here, and then there are some boards covering the wooden flooring. You've seen, if you've watched my videos, you've seen how we sanded all the floors, the rest of the floors on this floor of the house. And these have to be sanded too. As you can see, there is cement equalizing mass covering on the floor there. There's also bitumen, and that all has to be, I will use a large sander to remove that. However, first I have to remove this plastic flooring here. That'll mean tearing up these quarter rounds on the edge, on the floorboard, the baseboards. We want to keep the baseboards if possible. We'll just paint them. There are some problem areas, but we'll work those out. I've replaced most of the baseboards in the house, but we'd like to, like I said, we would like to keep these. I'll show you another room now where that we have finished. It's completely done. It's a much smaller room. This room is quite large. It's 5 by 4 meters, 15 by 12 feet roughly, and as I said, it will be completely, the walls will be covered with bookshelves. We'll have a nice big table in here, and probably I'll have a comfortable chair where Valentino and I can spend our time that we're not upstairs working or in my office working. Okay, this room here is completely done. I don't want to go into it because the floors now have been sanded and they're cleaned. We have cleaned the floors now and they're ready to be oiled. We put wallpaper on the wall on the left here, you can see, painted the other walls in front here. And there's just the electric socket that needs to be put in yet. And then I need to put the molding around the baseboard. That's the way the rooms all will look. I mean, roughly. We won't have many wallpapered rooms. This was a sheetrock wall, and I decided to wallpaper it because it really wasn't very nice otherwise. There is a beam going across the ceiling. Karen used a wire brush on it. I spent days wire brushing it and then treating it with a stain so that it will look nice. We have a number of beams visible on this floor. You've seen some of them before. We're leaving them open as they are. That is nothing in between them. This half-timbered house, this floor anyway. There are in one of our rooms here. You can just see them there. And oh boy, I can't get this tripod there now. I'm trying to carry this with the tripod here. And then you can see these beams here. They're also treated with they need another coating of, or another treatment with stain. So that's where we are at the moment. That'll be the library, and will be also kind of an opportunity for me to show you the work we've done. Here's Valentino on the stairs. Hi, boy. Yeah. The stairs are new, by the way. We have 6 flights of brand new solid oak stairs, new balustrade, and we have replastered and redone all the walls. Also, I made the oak windowsills. There you can see and installed the oak windowsills. This is the kind of work we've been doing, and this is the way the library will get done. Not with oak windowsills, but with white windowsills. I actually have them finished, I just have to put them in. Okay, this is already quite long. I wanted to give you a little bit of an introduction to what we'd be doing. And the next few weeks I'll be showing more and more videos of the work in the library and oiling the floors and so on. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks for subscribing and commenting. I appreciate it very much. I enjoy showing you the work that we do, and I hope that you get some enjoyment out of it too. Thanks again. See you soon.